Congressman Khanna. Congressman, great to have you here tonight. Capitol Hill had a classified hearing about AI. Is it your sense, first and foremost, that lawmakers are ready and willing to grapple with the disruptive potential of AI?
Contessa, we certainly have a knowledge gap. What we need to do is get experts, technologists in my district in Silicon Valley, academics, civil society, to have a commission that recommends certain principles. I mean, AI is going to have transformative impact, personalizing medicine, personalizing education, helping with supply chains, automating them to bring manufacturing home. But it also has huge risks, and we need to regulate those risks. But I don't think yet Congress is there in terms of the knowledge base.
The FTC Commissioner Lina Khan told the House Judiciary Committee today that she's concerned because when you go on, have been examples that people go on and request information from these AI bots, and what is produced is real information, identifying information about human beings that's just false. Is that a concern for you? And do you think that this falls under the FTC's purview?
It is one concern. I don't think it's the paramount concern. I mean, the paramount concern are we going to know whether we're speaking to someone human or speaking to an AI bot? Are we going to be able to confirm that something is authentic communication? Or is AI going to become complex enough to have machinery do things that are dangerous without safety? And I respect, of course, Lina Khan, but I don't think the FTC should be making AI policy for the United States of America. The President of the United States and the Congress should be with the input of a lot of stakeholders. And it would be a shame if we just have ad hoc agency suits to make policy.
Elon Musk last night held a Twitter Spaces event on artificial intelligence, and I know that you joined in the conversation as well. Let me play part of what he said about this need to regulate artificial intelligence.
I am an advocate of having some sort of regulatory oversight. We want to be careful in how the AI regulation is implemented and not be precipitous and heavy-handed. But I think it is something that there's got to be some kind of referee on the field here.
Congressman, he went on to suggest that perhaps maybe the industry could just self-regulate for a little while until Congress comes up to speed. Do you think that's a good idea?
No, I think we need a regulatory body like we have the FDA, like we have the FAA. And if folks tune in to the Twitter Space with Mike Gallagher, myself, and Elon Musk, Elon actually is open to that idea. The FDA has made the American pharmaceuticals the best in the world because of standards, and I think we should do the same thing for AI. But to get there, we need people who really understand this, helping come up with the principles.
OpenAI CEO Sam Altman had said to Congress that he thinks that you have to have a combination approach to avoid the worst potential of artificial intelligence. He says regulation, education, and companies doing the right thing. Are you confident that American companies can do the right thing and that they won't be outperformed, outcompeted by bad actors doing the wrong thing?
Well, I think that we need standards and regulation to ensure that, just like we need them for pharmaceuticals. Do I think pharmaceutical companies, when they're making drugs, are out there to help the American public? By and large, yes. But I still want there to be safety checks for the FDA. The same with AI. I mean, many of these people may be well-intentioned, but if they have blind spots into having junk data go into their programs and then having junk outcomes, or blind spots in terms of discrimination of algorithms or safety checks, then that's a real problem. So I don't think we can just leave this to the hands of Silicon Valley technologists.
Elon Musk also suggested that China might be a willing partner in coming to the table and setting global frameworks for AI. What do you make of that?
I'm skeptical of the Chinese government, given the surveillance that they have used on their own citizens, given some of the spy incidents, given the increased tensions in Taiwan that we need to be careful on. But I think the point that we have to try to engage on global treaties, global frameworks for AI regulation is true, just like we had to do that for nuclear technology. I mean, this is a technology that can be very dangerous if used in inappropriate ways. And that has to be a global solution. So I think we should be clear-eyed when dealing with the Chinese Communist Party, but we should make some effort.
Representative Khanna, I appreciate your time tonight, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Contessa.
Still ahead.